Blessings, namaste, and love, everyone. I am spiritualist, psychic astrologer, and medium Ray Sette. Once again, I thank you for offering me this opportunity to share with you some of my astrological and spiritual insights. And this time we are looking towards the month of July 2021. We are certainly advancing through this unprecedented year at what I sometimes refer to as ludicrous speed. That is just an opportunity for us to be very, very mindful, to be very present and in the moment, for us all to welcome the opportunities and to continue enjoying our journeys, not to necessarily be so much concerned about the destination, and to be very present and to continually enjoy this blessed, glorious, and most wonderful and certainly magnificent opportunity and human experience. Let's start with the our new moon, which will be coming up on July 9th. And as always, I suggest for us to recognize the time that we are offered to prepare for the opportunity of the new moon, which begins with the balsamic moon phase. And this month, it begins on July 5th at 7:29 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Whenever I offer time factors, I'm using Eastern Daylight Time. That's where I'm located, and I just employ that as a point of reference. And as I said, the balsamic moon, which that phase of the moon is the last phase of the lunar cycle, and it's the auspicious opportunity to prepare for the coming new moon lunar cycle. It's a time to clear, cleanse, and just eliminate any discordant energies, anything which may not be in alignment with what you might be choosing to create and the seeds that you will plant in motion at the time of the new moon. Our new moon, as I said, it's on July 9th, 9:16 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time is the exact moment of the new moon. And our July 9th new moon is in the sign of Cancer. As I touched upon in the June video, when the sun transits the sign of Cancer, we are being offered the opportunity to recognize all things domestically as well as that which is connected to our emotions and all emotional matters. So at this new moon, which is in the sign of Cancer, which does represent all things domestically, perhaps it's time to plant the seeds in motion to whatever you may recognize to be your ideal home environment. If you are desiring to purchase a new home, to move to a new home, this new moon certainly is the opportunity to plant those seeds and generate the intentions to set all of that in motion. What I would suggest, especially with this new moon, to just allow yourself, as always, to be guided, certainly as always to be guided by spirit, but I would suggest to allow yourself to be open to alternative possibilities as to whatever it is an ideal home environment might be for you. You see, at this new moon, we have Aquarius rising in the new moon chart that is cast for the United States. Aquarius allows us to connect with alternative insights, abstract information, and whenever Aquarius is present, I always emphasize the importance of keeping all options in the realm of possibility, especially those options which we may not necessarily be aware of. In other words, allow yourself to fully be guided to alternative, any possibility that spirit might share with you. And in this instance, regarding where and what your ideal home would be. Whenever we are exploring the opportunity of discovering a new home environment, I always suggest to recognize where you feel energetically connected geographically and perhaps otherwise. Spirit, as always, Spirit will guide you to wherever that might be. And whenever we are clear with our being, clear in our being, grounded with the energies of the earth, then we become that much more acutely aware of how Spirit is guiding us. And we can recognize what resonates with us energetically, especially regarding certain areas, the land, the feelings, the vibrations of certain areas. If you are exploring the possibilities of a new home environment, a new geographic location, I often suggest to clients to allow yourself to sit in front of a map of maybe a specific area or a larger area, depending on whatever it is that you are comfortable with working with, and perhaps use a pendulum and allow yourself to be guided and as to where an ideal geographic location would be suitable, would resonate with your frequencies, with your vibration. Certainly state your intention, clearly state your intention to Spirit, that you are asking Spirit to guide you to a place that is in accord with your energetic frequencies, especially on a spiritual level, so that you might create a home that is very much a sanctuary. I've always suggested to recognize that our homes really are designed to be our sanctuaries, our sacred spaces, a place where we can feel very peaceful, and a place for us to rejuvenate and replenish. If your home environment isn't peaceful, if there is discordant energy in your home, this is the opportunity, especially at the balsamic moon phase, to clear away the discordant energies that is specifically connected and resides in your home. There are many modalities that are available to all of us, so that we can conduct these clearings, if you will, on our own. Sometimes we need assistance from others to provide us perhaps with information that we will not be aware of, so that we can correctly clear away the energy and dispose of it properly. Whenever we're clearing away energy, we never want to just send it out to the universe. A simple suggestion is to hold the intention that whatever it is that you're clearing away, that it return, or that it go to or return to a place of light and love where it can harm no one and nothing else. Also, too, at this new moon, allow yourself to really just become even more acutely aware of how your home environment is feeling to you. Remember, it was the Prophet Kahil Gibran who suggested that we recognize that the home is a reflection of the larger body, or rather the home is the larger body, and whatever manifests, whatever is coming to form in the home, is a reflection of the accumulated energy of all the occupants that are in that home. So whenever we have the imbalances or something may go awry in our home, it is a reflection of all the occupants, the energy of all the occupants who are in that home. So if you are, whether it's you are one person or a family of 4, 6, 8, whatever that might be, to correct those imbalances, all the occupants must allow themselves to be aware of what they are energetically bringing into the home, as well as generating from within themselves. As I said, there are many modalities as to how to correct this energy. If you are noticing, if you are observing that something isn't quite right in your home, that something isn't feeling right, this is the opportunity to correct that, especially with the coming new moon. Also, the sign of Cancer represents emotions and all our emotional matters, as well as the energetic emotional foundations that were established in the early years of our development. I touch upon this in chapter 4 of my book, The Planets Align So Rare. This new moon is an opportunity to recognize, are there any discordant emotions which may no longer serve a purpose for you, and you begin the clearing of those emotions at the balsamic moon. Also, Cancer is the sign that represents securities in our lives, with whatever that might be. Many times we feel as though if we accumulate many elements in our mundane experiences, we may feel as though we have a greater sense of security. But remember, all the external elements are only temporary and can always be taken away or disappear in any moment. When we have established that element of security within ourselves, and that element is unshakable, then regardless of whatever might take place in the outside world, whatever that there may be in the outside world or the lack thereof, it doesn't matter, because we've had that stability and that security within ourselves. And that comes from such an unshakable knowing of a sense of trust with spirit and something greater. This new moon is an opportunity to fortify and strengthen all those securities from within yourself first. Remember, everything in the outside world is temporary, and our connection with spirit, God, source, or wherever that might be, that connection is infinite. And when we recognize that infinite connection, we certainly have created a very strong sense of security within ourselves while we are in this human experience. On July 22nd, the sun will transit into the sign of Leo. That will take place at exactly 10:26 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time on July 26th. Leo, as I've said in many occasions, Leo connects with divinity, creativity, abundance in all forms. When the sun transits the sign of Leo, as well as July going into August, we have what is referred to as the Lion's Gate portal, the opening of the Lion's Gate portal, which begins on July 27th. It's exact on August 8th, and it closes on August 12th. The Lion's Gate portal represents the rising of two suns at sunrise, our sun Helios as well as the sun Sirius. At that time, if you look out over the horizon, you will notice both of these great, powerful, energetic elements rising at the moment of sunrise. This is an opportunity for us to remember the element of divinity that is within every one of us. And keep in mind, when we connect with divinity, we express ourselves creatively, and when we express ourselves creatively, we connect with divinity. Every one of us, as I said, are creative beings. And remember, creativity is not specific to only art and music. Creativity is infinite, and every one of us has the opportunity to recognize we are a creative being in whatever demonstration, whatever form may resonate with you on a personal level. I always suggest, as we move through this time of the year, to represent your own sense of creativity, your own unique, individual, personal sense of creativity in whatever form that might be. When these two suns align at the moment of sunrise, the amount of energy that we can tap into is staggering, but in a very positive, powerful way. We re-energize at this time of year, especially because we are more aware of our connection with that source which created all things, as well as provides us with abundance in all areas of our lives. Remember, when we look out to nature, there is abundance everywhere. And when we refer to abundance, we are not specifically speaking regarding only monetary matters. Abundance is reflected in all things, especially when we look out to nature. We see abundance in plants, water, the air, the clouds, the drops of rain, the oceans. All abundance is present in all facets of nature, and every one of us by our birthright, has the ability to bring to form, to call forth abundance in all things. And we do so by recognizing from that place of love, which is also a Leo facet. Leo is the element that most represents love in all forms in our lives. And when we create from love, we create abundance. Just imagine how when you're in a place of love and you are truly enjoying an experience, and you have that sense of love in creating, that's what allows you to really generate abundance and attract abundance into your lives. And I would certainly apply this to the work environment. And I don't always like to use that term work, because many times when we think of work, we consider or we connect it with something that is labored. When we recognize our purpose and that which we are very passionate about, that really is part of our destiny and our purpose. And when we allow ourselves to really enjoy those experiences, especially in a profession, we never have to work a day in our lives. Perhaps this is another opportunity to also recognize that which you are very passionate about in your lives. Remember, I recognize, and I've allowed myself to really come to the understanding that whatever it is that we feel the greatest passionate about in life, it does connect with a greater purpose that also connects with our destiny. The sign Leo does also represent great passion. And remember, when we are very passionate about something, we are very much connecting with the ability to bring whatever that might be to form. So I certainly suggest to always create whatever that is for you from that place of love. Again, just to reiterate, the sun transits and moves into the sign of Leo, which connects among more so than other signs with the element of love and creativity, as well as children. Also, on a kind of like on a side note there, remember, whenever we are being childlike, we connect with an innocence. And in that innocence, we also have the ability to really bring to form so many things. We connect with that element of magic. Someone, I remember many years ago, I was given, I believe it was a holiday card. And what was stated on that card was a saying that declared, "Believe as a child believes, and the magic will find you." Perhaps during this time of the Lionsgate portal and as the sun moves through the sign of Leo, allow yourself to reconnect and remember those childlike qualities that allowed us to really experience the magic in all of our lives. And quite often when we become adults, we forget about that magic. And this is an opportunity to remember this ability so that you can also, even more so once again, remember that you are the master of your destiny. Our next full moon is on July 23rd, and the exact time of the full moon is 10:36 p.m. The sun is in Leo and the moon is in Aquarius. Aquarius and Leo are polar opposites. And I always use the analogy that Leo represents the heart, and in the physical form, the heart and blood. Aquarius represents circulation. Aquarius is also the element that is mostly associated with awakenings, great change, the age of Aquarius. Going back to what I was saying before about recognizing what it is that you are passionate about, what it is that you love. Look at it this way: whenever we allow ourselves to really enjoy that passion, enjoy that love, we are circulating and generating great change, especially in the outside world. As we continue moving through these times, I suggest to allow yourself to be lovingly open and receptive to that element of change. Remember, Aquarius is ruled by the planet Uranus, who is the great awakener. And sometimes I say that Quite often, the universe, when we are in a very deep sleep, the universe will need to shake us up to wake us up. And a great part of these great times of a great awakening is that every one of us is awakening to our higher self, what some refer to as that Christ consciousness, which not necessarily specifically, which isn't specific to an individual like Jesus the Christ. This is an element of divinity. That Christ consciousness is present in every one of us, whether it be the Buddha consciousness or any other consciousness that represents that source which created all things. Another element in these times is that we are awakening to that Christ consciousness within ourselves, always from a place of love, certainly not from a standpoint of ego. So again, as we move through these times, allow yourself to be very receptive to great and powerful changes, and to observe the changes from a place of peacefulness. Aquarius may also at times bring about situations that represent chaos. Remember, the chaos in the outside world, when we allow ourselves to be in the world and not of it, will have no negative impact on our well-being. I always inspire us to be clear in our being and grounded and connected with the energy of the earth, now so more than ever. Stay grounded and always in that place of love. One more thing I'd like to touch upon. On July 28th, Jupiter began its transit of the sign of Pisces. It will dip back into Aquarius on July 28th and will remain in Aquarius until December 29th when it moves full force into Pisces. Wherever Jupiter transits in the zodiac, it expands. It heightens a sense of awareness. Certainly moving through the sign of Aquarius, that knowing of brotherhood, that knowing of oneness, that knowing of great change, how that great change really is designed to serve a greater purpose for everyone. That is what has been expanded upon as Jupiter transited in the sign of Aquarius. As it dips back into Aquarius, because it's a retrograde phase, it's an opportunity to revisit all those understandings before it transits fully into Pisces, which is the sign of spirituality, among many, many, many things, as well as an unshakable sense of peaceful knowing within ourselves. I touch upon this awareness awakening experience that leads us to that sense of knowingness in the last two chapters of my book, chapters 11 and 12 in my book. Again, The Planets Align So Rare. So, once again, I am psychic, astrologer, spiritualist, and medium Sette. I offer you gratitude for allowing me this opportunity to share with you just a few of the possibilities and the astrological energies of July. Remember, whenever we look at things astrologically, there are so many elements that are involved, and in these videos I'm very limited as to how much I can share with you. I can go on for hours, but I probably would create more of a sense of confusion than anything else. And I always suggest to recognize that our astrological charts are very personal and unique to our individuals, and how all this factors into that many times does need to be addressed personally. I'm always available through the mystical moon for consultations, whether I'm in Florida or when I'm not in Florida. My next sojourn in Florida will be November going into December. Once we confirm everything, probably in August, we'll share all those dates with you. So until then, always remain in the light and forever in a place of love, and I will see you again very soon. Many blessings to all.